Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Dan Frazer. Passed away at the age of 90, Dan Frazer was an American character actor known for his authoritative and hard-working portrayals of cops and blue-collar figures. Born Daniel Thomas Frazer Jr. on November 20, 1921, in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City, he grew up in a tough working-class environment, which shaped his relatable and grounded acting style. Frazer's screen career began in the early 1950s, following his service in the U.S. Army Special Services during World War II, where he also performed to entertain troops. Over the next few decades, he amassed a wide range of television credits, appearing in classic series such as The Phil Silvers Show, Car 54, Where Are You?, The Untouchables, Route 66, McHale's Navy, My Favorite Martian, The FBI, Barney Miller, The Waltons, Law and Order, and Third Watch. His film debut came in the 1963 movie Lilies of the Field, where he played Father Murphy. Frazer became best known for his role as Captain Frank McNeil, the meticulous but fretful supervisor of Telly Savalas's character, Theo Kojak, on the popular 1970s TV police drama Kojak. He played McNeil throughout the series' entire run from 1973 to 1978, where his portrayal of the nervous but authoritative NYPD captain earned him recognition and respect. In addition to his acting, Frazer was a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, highlighting his professionalism and standing in the industry. He continued acting well into the 1990s, often cast as doctors, judges, and law enforcement officials, demonstrating his strength in playing textured supporting roles. Dan Frazer passed away on December 16, 2011, due to cardiac arrest at his home in Manhattan. He left behind a legacy as a reliable and memorable character actor who brought authenticity and dedication to every role he performed. Harry Morgan. Passed away at the age of 96, Harry Morgan, born Harry Bratsburg on April 10, 1915, was an esteemed American actor whose career spanned more than 6 decades in film, television, and stage. He is most famously known for his role as Colonel Sherman T. Potter in the long-running and critically acclaimed television series MASH, 1975 to 1983. A performance that earned him an Emmy Award in 1980. Morgan's portrayal of Colonel Potter showcased his brilliant ability to blend humor, warmth, and authority, embodying a fatherly figure and a career military officer who resonated deeply with audiences. Born in Detroit and raised in Muskegon, Michigan, Morgan originally aspired to be a lawyer, but shifted to acting during his university years at the University of Chicago. Early in his career, he acted under his birth name, but changed his stage name to Harry Morgan to avoid confusion with another actor. His early work included roles in Broadway plays before transitioning to Hollywood films in the 1940s. Morgan appeared in over 100 films, including notable classics like The Oxbow Incident, 1943, Inherit the Wind, 1960, and High Noon, 1952. However, he became a fixture on television, starring in several successful series such as December Bride, 1954-1959, and its spin-off Pete and Gladys, 1960-1962, and Dragnet, 1967-1970, where he played Officer Bill Gannon. His role on MASH was a defining moment in his career, as he replaced McLean Stevenson's character Henry Blake and brought a new dynamic to the show with his balance of stern discipline and heartfelt compassion. After MASH ended, He reprised the role in the short-lived spin-off Aftermath and continued to act in various films and TV shows, including guest roles on Third Rock from The Sun and The Simpsons. Morgan was also notable as a television director, working on series like The Alfred Hitchcock Hour and Adam 12. He retired from acting in the late 1990s and spent his later years with his family. Harry Morgan passed away on December 7, 2011, in Los Angeles, California, due to pneumonia. He is remembered as a gifted character actor, a respected television star, and a beloved figure in American entertainment history. Dobie Gray passed away at the age of 71. Dobie Gray was an American singer and songwriter best known for his 1973 hit Drift Away, a timeless classic that has sold over 1 million copies and remains a staple on classic rock and adult contemporary radio. Born Lawrence Darrow Brown, or possibly Lawrence Victor Ainsworth, on July 26, 1940, in Simonton, Texas, Gray grew up in a family of sharecroppers and was introduced to gospel music by his Baptist minister grandfather. From a young age, he was also passionate about country, western, and rhythm and blues music, which influenced his versatile singing style. In the early 1960s, Gray moved to Los Angeles, where he began his recording career. His first chart success was "Look at Me" in 1963, but he gained notable recognition with his cover of "The In Crowd" in 1965, which became a top 20 hit in the UK and the US. Gray's reputation as a soulful and versatile vocalist grew, leading to roles in stage productions such as Hair, where he performed for over 2 years, and work as a session singer with the band Pollution in the early 1970s. His biggest hit, Drift Away, released in 1973, became an enduring symbol of soulful, mellow music. The song enjoyed renewed popularity when covered by artists like Rod Stewart and Michael Bolton, extending its legacy across generations. Aside from his singing career, Gray also acted in films such as the blaxploitation feature Mean Mother, 1973, and appeared as himself in the comedy Out of Sight, 1966. In the mid-1970s, Gray transitioned more towards country music, relocating to Nashville and recording country hits like That's One to Grow On and From Where I Stand. Beyond performing, he was an accomplished songwriter, writing for notable country artists including Charlie Pride, George Jones, Johnny Mathis, and Tammy Wynette. Dobie Gray's music has been featured in numerous movie soundtracks, including Uptown Saturday Night, 1974, Casino, 1995, and Wonderland, 2003. His career also included 40 years of touring across the world, including performing in apartheid-era South Africa for integrated audiences. Gray died on December 6, 2011 in Nashville, Tennessee, from complications related to cancer surgery. He is remembered not only for his smooth voice and timeless hits, but also for his contributions as a songwriter and performer, whose music bridged genres and touched millions. Alan Suze passed away at the age of 85. Alan Grigsby Suze was an American actor and comedian best known for his flamboyant and campy persona on the groundbreaking TV sketch comedy series Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, 1968-1972. Born on March 7, 1926 in Ross, California, Suez initially served in the U.S. Army during World War II, after which he used the GI Bill to study acting at the Pasadena Playhouse. Launching his career on Broadway with Tea and Sympathy in 1953, he gradually made his way into television and film. Suze gained fame in the late 1960s and early 1970s as a regular on Laugh-In, where his over-the-top characters, such as Big Al the sportscaster and the effeminate Uncle Al, became iconic. His humor was sharp, playful, and sometimes campy, carving a unique comedic niche. Beyond comedy, Suze demonstrated his dramatic ability. In classic TV productions, including a memorable role in the Twilight Zone episode The Masks. Throughout his career, Suze appeared in films such as The Americanization of Emily, 1964, and lent his voice to animated features such as Raggedy Ann and Andy, A Musical Adventure, 1977. He also toured with theatrical productions, including Sherlock Holmes, in which he portrayed Professor Moriarty, and Singin' in the Rain. Known for his generosity and professionalism, Suze maintained a loyal fan base throughout his career. Although private about his personal life, he was recognized as an early gay icon due to his visibility and camp appeal, at a time when few openly gay entertainers were seen on television. Alan Suze passed away on December 1, 2011, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles due to a heart attack while watching television. He is remembered as a uniquely talented comedian and actor, whose work on Laugh-In remains a benchmark for sketch comedy. John Neville passed away at the age of 86. John Reginald Neville, CMOBE, was a distinguished English-Canadian actor and theatre director whose career spanned more than 60 years. Born on May 2, 1925 in London, England, Neville was renowned for his versatility, performing in classical theatre, film, and television, often celebrated for roles in works ranging from Shakespeare to science fiction. Neville trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and emerged as a leading figure in British theatre during the 1950s, performing at the Old Vic alongside luminaries such as Richard Burton. His classical stage roles included Hamlet, King Richard II, and Romeo, often earning critical acclaim. He was noted as a potential successor to John Gielgud, known for his commanding stage presence and refined voice. In 1972, Neville emigrated to Canada and became a Canadian citizen, where he continued his artistic career with leadership roles including artistic director at the Citadel Theatre in Edmonton, the Neptune Theatre in Halifax, and the Stratford Festival in Ontario. His commitment to fostering theatre and young talent was well regarded. Neville gained international attention starring in Terry Gilliam's cult classic, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, 1988, playing the title character across 3 age stages. He also portrayed the enigmatic, well-manicured man in the popular TV series The X-Files from 1995 to 1998, reprising the role in the 1998 feature film. Throughout his career, Neville appeared in numerous films and television productions, including Little Women, 1994, Crime and Punishment, 2002, and the science fiction film The Fifth Element, 1997. He maintained a rich and varied resume while focusing primarily on theater. John Neville passed away on November 19, 2011, in Toronto, Canada, after battling Alzheimer's disease. He is remembered as a consummate actor, treasured theater artist, and dedicated mentor who left a lasting legacy in both British and Canadian performing arts. Heavy D passed away at the age of 44. Dwight Arrington Myers, known professionally as Heavy D, was a Jamaican-American rapper, record producer, and actor who was highly influential in the 1990s hip-hop scene. Born on May 24, 1967, in Mandeville, Jamaica, he was raised in Mount Vernon, New York. Heavy D was the leader of the hip-hop group Heavy D and the Boyz, which included dancers and hype men G Wiz, Glenn Parrish, Trouble T. Roy, Troy Dixon, and DJ producer Eddie F. Edward Farrell. The group gained popularity with their debut album, Living Large, 1987, producing hits like The Overweight Lovers in the House and Mr. Big Stuff. Heavy D's style was a unique blend of rap, reggae, and R&B, characterized by witty and upbeat lyrics. The group's biggest hit was their 1991 cover of Now That We Found Love, which was a mainstream success crossing over to pop charts. Throughout his career, Heavy D released 4 solo albums and helped discover and develop artists such as Soul for Real and Munifa. He also served as an executive at Uptown Records and Universal Music. As an actor, Heavy D appeared in films such as The Cider House Rules, 1999, and Tower Heist, 2011, and made TV appearances on shows like Boston Public and Bones. He was known for his charismatic presence and smooth delivery both on stage and screen. Heavy D collapsed outside his home in Beverly Hills on November 8, 2011, and was pronounced dead at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The cause of death was a pulmonary embolism related to a blood clot, likely formed during a recent plane trip. Heavy D's legacy endures through his music, influence on hip-hop culture, and contributions to entertainment as an artist and executive. Randy Bruce Trawick was born on May 4, 1959 in Marshville, North Carolina, a small rural town that would deeply influence his musical sensibilities and values. He was the second of 6 children born to Bobby and Harold Trawick, growing up in a modest household where music was woven into the fabric of daily life. His father, Harold, worked various jobs to support the large family, including construction work and farming, while his mother, Bobby, was a devoted homemaker who instilled strong Christian values in her children. The Trawick household was filled with the sounds of traditional country music, gospel hymns, and the rich harmonies that characterize Southern musical traditions. Rye's earliest musical memories include listening to legends like Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, George Jones, and Lefty Frizzell on the family radio. These artists would later become profound influences on his own musical style, particularly in terms of vocal delivery and storytelling through song. Rye's childhood was marked by both the simple pleasures of rural life and the challenges that came with growing up in a working-class family during the 1960s and early 1970s. The family lived in a small house where privacy was scarce, and everyone had to contribute to the household in various ways. Randy learned the value of hard work early, helping with farm chores, tending to animals, and assisting his father with construction projects during school breaks. Music became Rye's refuge and passion from a very young age. He received his first guitar when he was 8 years old, a humble instrument that opened up a world of possibilities for the young boy. He spent countless hours practicing, initially learning simple chords and melodies, then gradually developing his own style. His natural talent was evident even in these early years, as he possessed an unusually mature voice for his age and an intuitive understanding of musical phrasing and emotion. The church played a central role in Rye's upbringing and musical development. The family attended services regularly at their local Baptist church, where Randy first performed publicly as part of the church choir. These early performances helped him develop confidence on stage and taught him the importance of connecting emotionally with an audience. The gospel music tradition also deeply influenced his vocal style, contributing to the spiritual depth and emotional authenticity that would later characterize his professional recordings. School presented both opportunities and challenges for Randy. While he was intelligent and capable, his heart was always with music rather than traditional academic subjects. He formed his first band during his teenage years with his brother Ricky, calling themselves the Trawick Brothers. They performed at local venues, including honky-tonks, county fairs, and church functions, gradually building a reputation in the local music scene. However, Rye's teenage years were also marked by rebellious behavior and run-ins with the law. The constraints of small-town life and academic expectations clashed with his artistic ambitions and free spirit. He was arrested several times for minor offenses, including burglary and car theft, experiences that could have derailed his future, but instead taught him valuable lessons about consequences and the importance of making better choices. Despite these challenges, Rye's musical talent continued to flourish. His voice was maturing into the distinctive baritone that would later captivate millions of fans worldwide. He began writing his own songs, drawing inspiration from his life experiences, the people around him, and the rich musical traditions of his North Carolina heritage. These early compositions showed remarkable sophistication for someone so young, displaying both technical skill and emotional depth. The support of his family, particularly his mother, Bobby, proved crucial during this formative period. She recognized her son's exceptional talent and encouraged him to pursue his musical dreams, while also emphasizing the importance of personal responsibility and moral integrity. This maternal guidance would prove invaluable as Randy navigated the complex path from a small-town performer to national country music star. By his late teens, Randy had developed a local following and was performing regularly throughout the Corollas. His reputation as a talented singer and performer was growing, and industry professionals were beginning to take notice of the young man with the powerful voice and natural stage presence. The foundation was being laid for what would become one of the most successful and influential careers in country music history. Randy Travis's transition from country music superstar to accomplished actor represented a natural evolution of his storytelling abilities and charismatic screen presence. His film career began in the late 1980s and early 1990s, at the height of his musical success, when Hollywood recognized his potential to bring authenticity and emotional depth to roles that required genuine country sensibility and moral conviction. His first significant foray into acting came with the 1992 film Young Guns 2, where he played a supporting role alongside established stars like Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, and Lou Diamond Phillips. Though his part was relatively small, Travis demonstrated a natural ability to convey sincerity and gravitas on screen. His performance caught the attention of casting directors and producers who were looking for actors who could embody traditional American values and rural authenticity. The breakthrough moment in Rye's acting career came with the 1993 television movie Wind in the Wire, a Western drama that showcased his ability to carry a leading role. In this film, he played a cowboy struggling with personal demons while trying to rebuild his life, a character that allowed him to draw upon his own experiences of redemption and personal growth. The movie was well received by audiences and critics alike, establishing Travis as a credible actor capable of handling complex, dramatic material. Following this success, Randy starred in Dead Man's Revenge, 1994, another Western that further solidified his reputation as an actor. The film featured him as a man seeking justice after being wrongly imprisoned, and his performance demonstrated remarkable emotional range and intensity. His ability to convey both vulnerability and strength made him particularly effective in these morally complex roles that required audiences to connect with flawed but ultimately sympathetic characters. Perhaps his most acclaimed film role came in The Rainmaker 1997, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and based on the novel by John Grisham. In this legal drama starring Matt Damon and Claire Danes, Travis played Billy Porter, a sympathetic character battling leukemia whose family's fight against an insurance company forms the heart of the story. His performance was praised for its authenticity and emotional depth, proving that he could hold his own alongside established Hollywood actors in a major studio production. Travis's success in The Rainmaker opened doors to more significant opportunities in film and television. He appeared in numerous made-for-television movies throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, often playing characters that reflected his own values and life experiences. These roles typically featured him as morally upright individuals facing difficult circumstances, allowing him to bring his natural charisma and genuine personality to characters that resonated with family audiences. One of his most memorable television appearances was in the series Texas Rangers 1999-2001, where he played Ranger Cordell Walker's partner. This role allowed him to combine action sequences with dramatic moments, showcasing his versatility as a performer. His chemistry with the cast and his ability to handle both comedic and dramatic scenes made him a valuable addition to the show's ensemble. Randy also found success in family-friendly films and holiday movies, including several Christmas-themed productions that became annual viewing traditions for many families. His warm screen presence and genuine portrayal of characters dealing with themes of faith, family, and redemption made these films particularly popular with audiences seeking wholesome entertainment options. Throughout his acting career, Travis maintained his commitment to roles that aligned with his personal values and beliefs. He was selective about the projects he chose, preferring characters and stories that reflected positive messages about family, faith, and personal responsibility. This approach may have limited some opportunities, but it ensured that his film work remained consistent with his public image and personal integrity. His success in Hollywood was particularly significant because it demonstrated the crossover potential of country music artists who possessed genuine acting ability. Unlike some musicians who struggled with the transition to acting, Travis brought a naturalistic style and emotional authenticity to his roles that made his performances feel genuine rather than manufactured. The film industry's recognition of Rye's talents extended beyond his on-screen performances. He contributed music to several movie soundtracks, creating songs specifically written for films and bringing his musical expertise to bear on projects that required both acting and musical components. This dual contribution made him particularly valuable to producers working on projects that could benefit from his multiple talents. Rye's acting career also influenced his music, as the storytelling skills he developed as a performer were enhanced by his experience portraying complex characters on screen. The emotional depth and narrative sophistication that characterized his later musical works reflected the growth he experienced as an artist through his film and television roles. His success in both music and film made him a unique figure in entertainment, someone who could credibly move between mediums while maintaining his artistic integrity and audience connection. This versatility contributed to his enduring popularity and helped establish him as a multifaceted entertainer whose influence extended far beyond the boundaries of country music. Randy Travis's life took a dramatic and challenging turn in July 2013, when he suffered a massive stroke that would fundamentally alter the trajectory of his career and personal life. This devastating health crisis marked the beginning of a prolonged battle that would test not only his physical resilience, but also his mental fortitude and the strength of his support system. The stroke occurred suddenly and without warning, striking Randy at the age of 54 when he was still actively performing and recording. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, and for several days, his survival remained uncertain. The medical team treating him discovered that he had suffered what doctors classified as a hemorrhagic stroke, a particularly severe type that occurs when a blood vessel in the brain ruptures, causing bleeding into the surrounding brain tissue. The immediate aftermath of the stroke was terrifying for both Randy and his loved ones. He remained in a medically induced coma for several weeks, while doctors worked to stabilize his condition and assess the extent of the damage. During this period, his family maintained a bedside vigil, uncertain whether he would survive, and if he did, what level of recovery might be possible. When Randy finally awakened from the coma, the full scope of his challenges became apparent. The stroke had severely affected his ability to speak, a devastating blow for someone whose voice had been his primary means of artistic expression and livelihood. The condition known as aphasia made it extremely difficult for him to find words, form sentences, or communicate effectively with those around him. Beyond the speech difficulties, Randy faced significant physical challenges. The stroke had affected his motor functions, requiring extensive physical therapy to regain basic abilities that most people take for granted. Simple tasks like walking, eating, and performing daily self-care activities became monumental challenges that required patience, determination, and professional assistance. The road to recovery proved to be long and arduous, marked by both setbacks and small victories. Rye's rehabilitation involved multiple specialists, including speech therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and neurologists, all working together to help him regain as much function as possible. Each day brought new challenges and required tremendous effort to make even modest progress. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Rye's condition was the impact on his ability to sing. His voice, once one of the most distinctive and powerful instruments in country music, was severely affected by the stroke. The neural pathways that controlled his vocal cords and breathing had been damaged, making it extremely difficult for him to produce the controlled, nuanced sounds that had defined his career. The emotional toll of these limitations was immense. Randy had built his identity around his ability to communicate through music and performance, and suddenly finding himself unable to do so created profound psychological challenges. Depression and frustration became constant companions as he struggled to accept his new limitations while working toward recovery. His medical team explored various treatment options and therapies, some conventional and others experimental. Music therapy became an important component of his rehabilitation, as researchers had discovered that stroke patients sometimes retained musical abilities even when speech was severely impaired. This therapy offered hope that Randy might be able to reconnect with his musical abilities even if traditional speech remained challenging. The financial implications of Rye's extended medical care were substantial. The costs of hospitalization, rehabilitation, and ongoing therapy created significant financial strain despite his previous success. The uncertainty about his ability to return to performing meant that his primary source of income was no longer available, adding practical concerns to the already overwhelming medical and emotional challenges. Throughout this difficult period, Rye's determination to recover became legendary among his medical team and rehabilitation specialists. Despite the frustrations and setbacks, he consistently showed up for therapy sessions and worked diligently to regain lost abilities. His rural upbringing and strong work ethic served him well during this challenging phase of his life. The stroke also revealed the importance of early medical intervention in such cases. Rye's rapid treatment likely prevented even more severe damage. Though the effects were still life-altering, his experience became an example for others of the critical importance of recognizing stroke symptoms and seeking immediate medical attention. As months turned into years, Rye's recovery continued at a gradual pace. While he made significant improvements in many areas, it became clear that he would likely never fully return to his pre-stroke abilities. This realization required a fundamental adjustment of expectations and goals, both for Randy and his family. The medical challenges also highlighted the vulnerability that all people face regardless of their success or status. Rye's stroke served as a reminder that health crises can strike anyone at any time, fundamentally altering life's trajectory in ways that no amount of preparation can fully address. Despite the severity of his condition, Rye's medical team remained cautiously optimistic about his continued improvement. Stroke recovery can continue for years after the initial event, and patients often surprise doctors with their resilience and ability to adapt to new circumstances. Randy Travis's life has been marked by numerous personal losses and family tragedies that have shaped his character and influenced his music in profound ways. These experiences of grief and loss have provided both the inspiration for some of his most emotionally resonant songs and the strength to persevere through his own health challenges. One of the most significant early losses in Rye's life was the death of his father, Harold Trawick, who passed away in 1986, just as Rye's career was beginning to reach new heights. Harold had been a complex figure in Rye's life, sometimes stern and demanding, but ultimately supportive of his son's musical ambitions. His death came at a time when Randy was finally achieving the success that his father had helped him work toward, creating a bittersweet mixture of triumph and grief. The loss of his father deeply affected Rye's perspective on family relationships and the importance of reconciliation. In interviews, he often spoke about wishing he had spent more time with his father and expressed regret about the periods of tension that had existed between them during his rebellious teenage years. This experience taught him valuable lessons about forgiveness and the importance of maintaining close family bonds. His mother, Bobby Trawick, who had been his strongest supporter throughout his childhood and early career, also faced health challenges as she aged. Her declining health in later years was particularly difficult for Randy, as she had been the family's emotional anchor and the person who had most consistently believed in his musical abilities. Her death was another significant loss that reinforced his understanding of life's fragility and the importance of cherishing relationships while they exist. The country music industry itself became a source of loss for Randy as he witnessed the deaths of many of his musical heroes and contemporaries. The passing of legends like George Jones, with whom Randy had developed a close friendship and professional relationship, was particularly painful. These losses represented not only personal grief, but also the gradual disappearance of the traditional country music culture that had shaped Rye's artistic identity. Rye's marriage to his first wife, Elizabeth Hatcher, ended in divorce in 2010, representing another significant loss in his personal life. Elizabeth had been instrumental in Rye's early career success, serving as his manager and helping to guide his professional development. Their relationship had begun when Randy was still a teenager performing in North Carolina, and Elizabeth had recognized his potential and helped nurture his career. The dissolution of their marriage after more than 2 decades together was emotionally devastating for Randy. The divorce proceedings were complicated and sometimes contentious, involving disputes over financial arrangements and career-related assets. This period of legal and personal turmoil came at a time when Randy was already dealing with various professional challenges, creating a perfect storm of stress and emotional difficulty. The end of his marriage to Elizabeth also meant the loss of a professional partnership that had been crucial to his success. She had not only been his wife, but also his business partner and closest advisor, and her absence left a significant void in both his personal and professional life. The challenge of rebuilding both his personal relationships and his career management structure proved to be overwhelming at times. Rye's struggles with alcohol during various periods of his life created additional losses and damaged relationships with family members, friends, and professional colleagues. These struggles sometimes resulted in behavior that hurt people close to him, creating rifts that took time and effort to repair. The shame and regret associated with these incidents became sources of ongoing emotional pain. His brother Ricky, who had been his early musical partner in the Trawick Brothers, faced his own challenges and struggles throughout his life. The relationship between the brothers became strained at times due to Rye's success and the different paths their lives had taken. This tension within the family created another source of loss and regret for Randy, who valued family connections deeply. The loss of longtime friends and collaborators in the music industry created ongoing grief for Randy. The country music community is relatively small and close-knit, and the deaths of fellow performers, songwriters, and industry professionals represented not only personal losses, but also the gradual disappearance of the musical era that had defined his career. Randy also experienced the loss of various business relationships and professional opportunities due to his health challenges and personal struggles, record deals that ended, touring opportunities that disappeared, and collaborative relationships that dissolved all represented losses that affected both his financial security and his sense of professional identity. The death of beloved pets and animals from his ranch also created genuine grief for Randy, who had always maintained a deep connection with animals. These losses, while perhaps seeming smaller in scope than human relationships, were nonetheless significant for someone who found peace and comfort in the presence of animals. Perhaps one of the most profound losses Randy faced was the gradual disappearance of his voice and performing abilities following his stroke. While not a death in the traditional sense, the loss of his primary means of artistic expression represented a kind of death of his former identity as a performer. This loss required him to grieve not only for his abilities, but for the version of himself that had existed before his medical crisis. Throughout all these losses, Randy developed a philosophy of acceptance and resilience that drew heavily on his Christian faith. He learned to view grief as a natural part of life's journey, and to find meaning in both joy and sorrow. These experiences of loss ultimately deepened his emotional maturity and provided him with a profound understanding of human suffering that enriched his artistic work and personal relationships. Today, Randy Travis continues his remarkable journey of recovery and adaptation, living a life that, while dramatically different from his pre-stroke years, remains rich with purpose, love, and meaningful contributions to the world around him. His current existence represents a testament to human resilience and the power of supportive relationships in overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. Rye's daily life now centers around his home in Texas, where he lives with his wife, Mary Davis Travis, whom he married in 2015. Mary, a former dentist who became his manager, has been instrumental in his recovery and adaptation to his new circumstances. Their relationship represents a beautiful second chapter in Rye's personal life, providing him with the emotional support and practical assistance necessary for navigating his ongoing health challenges. Mary's dedication to Rye's well-being extends far beyond typical spousal support. She has become his advocate, caregiver, and voice in many situations where his aphasia makes communication difficult. Her medical background has proven invaluable in understanding his condition and coordinating his continued therapy and treatment. Their marriage has been characterized by patience, understanding, and a deep commitment to making the most of their time together, despite the challenges they faced. Rye's current rehabilitation routine remains intensive and ongoing. He continues to work with speech therapists who help him improve his communication abilities through various techniques and exercises. While his speech remains limited compared to his pre-stroke abilities, he has made steady progress in expressing himself and understanding others. His therapy sessions often incorporate music, as researchers have found that stroke patients sometimes retain musical abilities even when traditional speech is impaired. Physical therapy continues to play an important role in Rye's daily routine. He works regularly with specialists who help him maintain and improve his mobility, strength, and coordination. These sessions are crucial not only for his physical well-being, but also for his mental health, as they provide a sense of accomplishment and progress. His determination during these sessions continues to impress his medical team and serves as inspiration for other stroke patients. One of the most remarkable aspects of Rye's current life is his continued connection to music, albeit in modified forms. While he cannot perform in the traditional sense, he has found ways to remain musically active that work within his current limitations. He attends recording sessions where other artists perform his songs, and his presence and input, even when communicated through gestures or limited words, adds authenticity and emotional depth to these projects. The music industry has shown tremendous support for Randy during his recovery. Fellow artists, songwriters, and industry professionals have organized tribute concerts, benefit events, and collaborative projects that honor his contributions, while also providing financial support for his ongoing medical expenses. These events serve as reminders of the impact Randy had on country music and the affection that the industry continues to hold for him. Rye's public appearances, while limited, are carefully planned and deeply meaningful. He has appeared at award shows, including his induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2016, where his presence moved audiences to tears. These appearances require extensive preparation and support, but they demonstrate his continued connections to the music community and his willingness to participate in important events when his health permits. The Randy Travis Foundation, established to support stroke survivors and their families, has become an important part of his current activities. Through this organization, Randy and Mary work to raise awareness about stroke prevention, recovery resources, and the challenges faced by stroke survivors. The foundation provides grants for therapy equipment, supports research into stroke recovery, and offers resources for families navigating similar challenges. Rye's story has become a source of inspiration for stroke survivors worldwide. His visibility as a public figure dealing with aphasia and physical limitations has helped reduce stigma around these conditions and has shown others that meaningful life can continue after stroke. Medical professionals often reference his case when working with other patients, using his progress as an example of what determination and proper support can accomplish. His current living situation reflects adaptations made necessary by his condition, but also his desires for comfort and connection to his roots. His Texas home has been modified to accommodate his mobility needs while maintaining the rural atmosphere that has always been important to him. He continues to enjoy spending time outdoors, observing nature, and maintaining connections with animals, activities that provide peace and therapeutic benefits. Technology has played an important role in Rye's current communication strategies. He uses various devices and applications designed to assist people with aphasia, allowing him to express complex thoughts and emotions that might be difficult to convey through speech alone. These tools have expanded his ability to participate in conversations and maintain relationships with family and friends. Rye's relationship with his fans remains strong, facilitated largely through social media platforms managed by Mary and his support team. These channels allow fans to stay connected with his progress and continue to express their love and support for him. The messages from fans provide ongoing encouragement and remind Randy of the lasting impact his music has had on people's lives. The couple's faith continues to play a central role in their daily lives. They attend church regularly when Rye's health permits, and their spiritual beliefs provide strength and perspective as they navigate ongoing challenges. Rye's faith has been a source of comfort throughout his recovery and continues to influence his approach to his current circumstances. Looking toward the future, Rye's goals remain focused on continued improvement in his communication and physical abilities, though expectations are realistic given the nature of his condition. Medical advances in stroke treatment and recovery continue to offer hope for further progress, and Randy remains committed to his therapy and rehabilitation programs. His legacy in country music is secure, with his influence continuing through the artists he inspired and the songs that remain popular decades after their initial release. Current country artists frequently cite Randy as an influence, and his music continues to find new audiences through streaming platforms and tribute performances. Randy Travis today embodies resilience, grace under pressure, and the power of love and support in overcoming life's greatest challenges. While his life is dramatically different from his performing days, it remains rich with purpose, relationships, and the quiet satisfaction that comes from inspiring others through his example of courage and determination in the face of adversity.